What is up, everybody? Welcome to some more Vyeshal Kywalnez tournament matches. I am Delthius. Looks like audio is a little low. Maybe I can fix that. I can probably fix that. And that'll be alright. How's it going, everybody? Good to see y'all. So we got a whole bunch going on this week. Happy Friday to everybody. Yes, I am doing a regular show this week, and we're doing a full 12 replays. I've gotten a lot of submissions lately, so thank you everybody for continuing to participate in this channel, man. This channel is a community effort for sure. I can't produce content without everybody else. So first and foremost, we are helping out our good buddy Jet Erickson here. A little bit of tournament casting. Let me show you guys where we're at in the bracket here. If I do this, there we go. All right, so we are on this match right here, losers round 2, with this guy and Illuminatus, and gonna be a good one. Both players very strong, so really excited to see how this one turns out. And also, again, thank you everybody for all the submissions. Keep submitting though, pretty please. It's always great to have a bunch of replays from a bunch of different people. ToothAndTailTV at gmail.com. And we've also got Mochaccino's Tooth and Tail Championship number 2 coming up, guys. Don't be shy to sign up for that one. It's actually really cool the way that it's formatted. It allows for players of various skill levels to all have a fair shake. There's beginners, intermediate, and premier leagues, which the players are put into based on the judgment of the tournament organizers. So that's fun. The deadline to sign up for that is going to be on Monday. And that it's like a weekly tournament, kind of similar to this one where, you know, you'll have to play your matches within a certain amount of time whenever it's convenient for you and your opponent. And one of his announcements actually reminded me we do have the 3-year anniversary coming up right around the corner. So that's it, guys. Keep on shooting me replays. We got Vyeshal Kywalnez tournament going on. Lots of that casting's over on Jet Erickson's channel. I try to help out a little bit when I can. And we've got the Tooth and Tail Championship coming up very, very soon. So without any further ado, let us hop into match number 1. Spawning at the bottom, we've got Illuminatus. And up top, we've got this guy. Alright, so this is Acropolis, I believe, is the name of this map. I think I'm starting to get these tournament maps names down at this point. And let's see how these guys want to start it out. Typically, we can see a lot of early aggression on this map. But not necessarily. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can just go ahead and take your expansion up here on the high ground, even eventually get into a third base. So there are options still available. And we see Eel kind of setting up like a poke strategy here. I like this. Skunks are pretty good on the defense. You know, they're great on offense too. But if your strategy is to kind of like hunker down, you know, and repel an attack or two, Skunks can be very good for that. And then maybe set up a balloon or artillery cannon. And meanwhile, I wonder if we're going to see this guy do his old school play of essentially, you know, getting up to a couple Skunks, getting up all that tier 1, and going in for a push. If that doesn't work out, he can always expand, you know, go into Falcons and Owls. But no, taking a pretty quick expansion. Illuminatus is going to do the same. He did scout this guy's expansion first, so kind of responding here. You know, if Eel can manage to put down an artillery cannon, we've seen it in games before. I mean, that's very abusable on this map specifically. This guy going to go ahead and transition into that tier 2. And I think Eel scouted it. Yeah, Eel did get the scout on that, so he knows it's coming. And no farms taken from either side yet. There we go. There's one farm from Eel here. And he's actually building a lot of tier 1, so maybe he's trying to punish this guy for trying to get into these Skunks so quickly. But if this guy can manage to not take a ton of damage, I do like this from this guy kind of coming back, knows he's got the smaller amount of tier 1. And that was some good decision making to kind of back up there, let his units kind of pile together a little bit before the engagement. And now I kind of like this guy's spot because the skunks are going to be great against all this tier 1, and very smart from Eel here. Going to sell off a couple of those tier 1 Warrens and get into his own tier 2. The snake's going to do a nice job against those skunks. And this guy actually did not see the tier 2. Ooh, and here comes that balloon. This balloon by itself is not going to be incredibly threatening, but it does kind of set the stage for Illuminatus to be able to get into the artillery cannon. And Eel's coming in for a big push here. He's got both, or I'm sorry, this guy's coming in for the push. He's got all these skunks doing a ton of work here on the front. Starting to threaten this gristmill. This balloon is not in the range to contest. He's gonna lose the mill here, but this balloon might stop this guy from continuing to push in to try to just straight up win the game. But he's done a lot of damage here. He took a nice engagement. Gonna lose a skunk on the way out, most likely. Yeah, oh, the pigeon does save it. I think it went down to like 2 HP or something. Very, very close. And yeah, I mean, since this guy didn't lose that skunk, I mean, this is a very good spot for him. This snake is going to be a little bit hard to punish, unless he just gets caught right here. Needs to be a little careful. In theory, these snakes can poke and prod and get a little value that way. One snake goes down, the other snake is going to follow suit, but does get a little bit of poison on these skunks. This guy's going to back these skunks up and not lose any skunks to that poison. Another devastating loss here for Eel. Both snakes going down, and both the skunks from this guy managing to survive. So this guy's just got everything going for him now. Like, the world is his oyster, man. He's got both his tier 2. He hasn't lost any of them yet. He's ahead on farms. Eel's trying to catch up now. And this guy can just keep the pressure going. Gonna come back in for another attack, and again, a snake immediately falling. These moles, a couple moles on the front lines, helping to tank some of this initial damage, but all of Eel's force is fighting in the gas, and is Eel gonna tap? It looks like it's about the point of no return. Yeah, he taps out there. Hey, what's up, Tosh? Thanks for the raid, man. All right, so this guy, a down and dirty victory here on Acropolis, as to be expected. At least for Acropolis, anyways. It's a pretty scrappy map there. Alright. Let's keep it rolling. We've got a lot of stuff to go through. We are going to do a full show after this because I've just been getting so many replays lately. I don't want to let them rot away for too long. So let's hop into match number 2. Spawning on the right, we've got this guy. And on the left, Illuminatus. And this is Highway 404. And we do see Eel kind of playing to the map a little bit with the ferrets. No defense this time around, but you are very tempted in this map to try to, you know, siege from this high ground here in the middle. But this guy looks like he wants to start with a little bit of mole play. No, decides to go home. I think he was hoping to not be scouted there, but Eel, with some good due diligence, manages to find his opponent before the moles can get down and dirty. And is this guy going to try again? Yeah, it looks like he wants to, but again, going to back off once he's scouted. So that might just put us into an 8-farm opening for both sides. And this is a cool comp. You know, this guy keeping the same deck, but we do see the Badger here. I think the Badger's pretty good against what this guy's bringing to the table. There's nothing like lizards or snakes or foxes that are really good against it. Falcons can get the job done against the Badger. You just kind of need to get them in the right position at the right time. So yeah, probably going to see some just 8-farm doubles here. Maybe an 8-farm single into a mill, an 8-farm double from Eel, and an 8-farm single into a mill from this guy. Pretty similar openings. You know, slight edge to the mill player as long as, you know, they survive the early game. It can be a little dicey when you get that early mill. You do want to start farming up, but you need to make sure your opponent at least invests in a gristmill before you can really start doing that. And this guy does confirm that Eel has taken that mill, so we can go ahead and throw down like a farm. Yeah, I think one farm is safe, but look at this, Eel. Selling off that mill, he's gotten this guy to invest 120 food into economy. And he's going to go for a solid Squizzard comp. The Squizzard does really nicely against pure Squirrel or Squirrel Skunk, both of which this guy might use. But this guy did that scout right there was very important. You know, he's not going to invest. If he invested into a tier 2 as well, he'd probably just be dead. But since he got that scout and he realized Eel tried to fake him out with taking that mill, he can throw down more tier 1. He can try to defend this. He does have the mill here to tank for him. But that's not going to come into play too much as long as Eel is target firing. And it looks like this guy is going to be able to rally up just enough. A little bit of an overextension here from Eel. I think he probably needed to pack it up a little bit earlier. And this puts this guy in a great position. You know, he didn't lose that mill. If he lost that mill, it still wouldn't be like the end of the world, but it would definitely be an edge for Eel. And look at this, Eel being a little bit greedy here, but he is slightly behind. Trying to get both that mill and that tier 2. I think this guy just scouted it, yeah, so he knows Eel's kind of toning it back for the time being. But Eel is going into Skunks here, and maybe this guy thinks it's Snakes again. You know, Snakes would not do well against this pure Squirrel comp, but everybody knows Skunks are really good against Mass Squirrel. No, you guys don't know that. You're here for that information from me. Look, I like how the sunglass fox, man, it's like on his head. That's hilarious. He's got double sunglasses on. Didn't quite match up 100%. But I kind of like it better that way, to be honest. That's like the ultimate Mr. Cool move, you know? You got sunglasses on, you take them off, and you got another pair underneath. Alright, Eel moving out. This could be a little dicey for this guy here. He's invested a lot into economy, and these Skunks are really good at dealing with Mass Tier 1. This guy also not home here at the very beginning of this, so Eel is going to be able to engage on like half the army, but he just doesn't have enough reinforcing Tier 1. One skunk goes down already, the next skunk is following suit. And these staggered squirrels from this guy might have actually been very good for him there, to be honest. Like, the skunk gas that came out and, you know, hit that initial group of squirrels, you know, it didn't affect, like, most of this guy's army. And the reinforcements were able to come in and flank, attack where there wasn't gas. A little bit of a cocky counterattack here from this guy. He just kind of rallied the squirrels and went home to take a third base and try to continue to get ahead. So I think that attack went a little bit better for Eel. Kept both the skunks alive at the very least. And yeah, this guy's got a nice little lead. This game's not over yet, though. Eel does have the skunks, and man, this guy just slamming down that squirrel key. So many squirrels. Going up to 30. Yeah, and at this point, maybe 2 skunks isn't going to cut it. You know, maybe you need like 4. Illuminatus getting a nice little scout about both players, just kind of seeing what's going on. And here comes this guy rallying with so many squirrels from so many different areas. I wonder if this was intentional. Like, look at this coverage from the squirrels. They're just attacking from every direction. Is this going to work out for him? It doesn't look like it. It looks like these skunks are just cleaning up shop, man. And again, this guy rallies his army in, doesn't bother to try to micro, but at those kind of numbers, you don't want to target fire anyways for the most part, besides like on the skunks themselves, you know? Otherwise, you're just wasting fire. So that was a pretty big loss there for this guy. However, he's got the economy to back it up, and since his army is totally tier 1, you know, he's got a whole new army on the field in no time. Eel wants to come in for a counterattack, and this is really interesting from this guy, man. Like, not rallying these squirrels together. He wants them to like attack in a wave, you know, just every corner. Like, he did manage to pick off that pig during the engagement. Here we go again. This guy just bringing it all forward, trying to bait Eel's army back to be clumped up here on the front. And our 2 skunks gotta be enough to stop this. Eel trying to get some gas clouds down in key areas. One skunk has already fallen, and this is just so many squirrels, man. Eel's economy is starting to tank. He's going to lose that second base, and that's probably going to be a tap out. He even loses the first. And from here, I think Eel's just unfortunately gotta give this one up, man. I don't hate that you stay in the game, though, because this is a tournament match. You know, this is the loser's bracket, too, so whoever loses this best of 5 is out of the event. This is so funny. Like, we actually don't see this very often. This guy just playing a huge economy with a ton of tier 1. You know, I don't necessarily have to trade effectively if I just have so much more than you. You know, he's just trying to rampage him through. And Illuminati is stuck here at the 6 o'clock position on the map. His last bastion of hope. But he's just not going to be able to stop this onslaught of squirrels. There are too many units here out on the board for this guy. Really good surface area, to be honest, on those attacks. Alright, this guy's up 2-0. Bam. Let's see if Eel can pull it back in game number 3 here. Alright, so this is Glacier. Look at me not having to use my cheat sheet. Started learning these names. On the left, we've got Illuminatus. And on the right, we've got this guy. Illuminatus, again, switching up his deck. You know, no drastic changes, I don't think. He's, for the most part, sticking with a general core, but kind of switching up a few units here and there. Oh, this guy, a little bit of a mole rush. Going to try to go after this corner pig. A lot of times you want to take this corner pig up front just to have it out of the way, like for mole rushes, you know, because this is the most vulnerable spot. So if this guy didn't rush right then, you know, trying to attack into like this one or that one are a little more difficult. But Eel handles it appropriately. And we're going to move on to a generally normal. Well, actually, this guy going for the 6 farm double, maybe even trying to sneak some more moles up back here. Oh, looks like he thought about it. Eel's got his scouting down. Doesn't fall for it this time. And this map's rush distance is a little bit misleading. It feels kind of large, but you've also got all this road in the middle. And yeah, this guy is really committing to the 6 farm strat here. Eel doesn't have the moles to help reinforce in a clutch area. And this guy's just going to go for it. Eel knows this is happening. You know, this guy's going to show up probably with 4 moles, 6 squirrels. A couple last-minute mines are going down for Eel. This guy probably will see him. Yeah, he knows they're there, but not really much he can do about it. And I think Eel probably holds this. He needs to pull his squirrels back a little bit into these farms. Oh, can't lose the commander, 2 HP. No, this guy's pushing in. Eel not quite with the amount of squirrels that he needed. I think his squirrels are a little bit far forward on that initial engagement. And lots of damage coming out here for this guy. Keep in mind, this guy is only on 6 farms, but he managed to knock out 3 of his opponents. And traded pretty effectively there. Gets to go home, sell those moles, which is going to give him the money to go ahead and farm up, build some more tier 1 warrants. And Eel's gonna go on the aggressive here. This is one thing that's a little bit wonky about this map, right? Like, you want to throw warrens out to like protect your farms, but when your warrens are all the way out here on this low ground, they're very vulnerable. However, this guy does clean that up with some nice target fire there. And Eel is in some real rough shape here, man. He's gonna need a miracle. Maybe you try to do something like sneak out of tier 2, but it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't positions, right? Because if you get busted on that, then they attack in, and then that's a whole bunch of money you don't have in tier 1. So I think Eel just kind of has to, you know, try to sneak out some farms, keep going on the tier 1 here. But this guy is not going to let up. He knows he's got a lead. He just wants to come in and crush this game. You know, with enough moles, you can almost just target down this mill. And here comes a push. Not a whole lot of a lot of pigs left here to help push this back. And again, this map is surprisingly aggressive because you just can't put warrens, you know, in those 2 tiles in front of the farms to help you defend. And it looks like Eels just suffered critical damage at this point. And the mill is gonna go down to this last mole, and this guy takes the 3-0 and is gonna advance on to the next round of the losers bracket. So that means that this guy will be up against Kalaru for round 3. Very exciting. Okay, guys. Very brief stream break. I've got to do some back-end stuff. I got to change some game files to get it all squared away for the regular game. We got to do some patch-type shenanigans to get this to work right. So I'm going to stop the stream for like a minute or two. Don't go anywhere. We're still going to do a regular show. What episode are we on? I think it's like 105 now. Yeah, 105. The feast number 105 coming up in just a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. See you guys in a sec.